Hi students, welcome to our science class. Our chapter name is solid, liquid and gas. In the last two classes we are discussing this chapter. We know the state of matter is of 3 and we are discussing about the 3 things. Solid is the liquid is the and gas is the. Now the question is it possible to convert this solid to liquid or liquid to gas? Or is it possible to convert this gas to liquid or liquid to solid? That is the question. That is the conversion is possible or not. Here within your syllabus you have only want to study about the interconversion of the water. That we are going to study today. That is the change of state. Change of state. Change of state means here we are converting a particular state from another. That means if it is in solid state, we are going to convert it to liquid. Or if it is in liquid state, we are going to convert it to gas. Or if it is in gas, we are going to convert it to liquid or solid, like that. First of all, within a beaker, we are just selecting some ice cubes. Some ice cubes. Ice cubes. And now I am going to give heat. I am going to give heat. What happens? There happens this ice cubes turn into water. Ice cubes turn into water with the help of heat. And what is the name of this process? The name of this process is nothing but the melting. Melting. Now how we can define this melting? Melting is the process of conversion of solid, this is solid, solid to liquid with the help of heat, or using heat is called melting. Melting is the process of conversion of solid to liquid using heat is called melting. I think it's clear. So here, what is happening for the molecules? I will show you what happens. For the ice cubes, the molecular arrangement is like this. They are very closely packed. And when we are giving heat to this, what happens is this within the liquid, the space is getting more. So, this is what happens within the ice cubes and water, and we are calling that process called melting. Here, the space between the molecules are getting increased and the attractive force is getting decreased. These points we discussed in our last class. So, you just want to remember melting. What is melting? Melting is the process of conversion of solid substance to liquid state using heat. That is about the melting. Now, again we are going to give heat to the water. Then what happens? Then it will convert to steam. That is, this is water, and when we are again giving heat here, and then you can see that after boiling, it will convert to steam. It will convert to steam. Or we can simply say it as this liquid state convert to gaseous state. And what is the name of that process? The name of that process is nothing but the vaporization. vaporization, or simply we can say it as evaporation. Evaporation. So, what is this evaporation? Evaporation is the process of conversion of the liquid substance to gaseous state with the help of heat, or using heat is called evaporation. So what is this evaporation? Evaporation is the process of conversion of liquid state substance to gaseous state using heat. That is called evaporation. And here also what happens to the molecular arrangement? Here also we can see that the molecules are getting more far than this. They are getting more far than the solids and liquid. That is about this. So, here we studied two terms, that is melting and evaporation. Melting and evaporation. Melting means conversion of solid to liquid, and the evaporation means liquid to gaseous state. Now we are going to discuss further terms are also there. In the first stage we just did that, we are giving heat. In the second stage we are going to cool this. Then what happens? For that I am just taking one experimental setup. This is one kettle and it is just closed. And inside this we have filled with water. And I am going to heat this. And then after some time you can see that this water start to get boils. And then what happens? It will convert to steam. And so we can see after some time what happens. All this water is converted to steam, and we will get this steam to come outside through this mouth of the kettle. And now I am going to take here a lid, and at the top I am just placing some ice cubes at the top. And then what you can see that here we already said that the steam or the vapor come through this, and that will hit on this lid, and here we are keeping some ice cubes. And then you can see when we are putting one beaker here, the water droplets are just fall on this beaker. That means here the steam is converted to liquid again. Simply we can say that the water is getting steam, and when we are just closing that steam with some sort of lid or anything, you can see the water droplets are there on the lid. That is the same thing, that conversion of steam into liquid, steam to water. And now the question is, what is the name of this process? We said that the process is at the initial stage melting. Then we studied about the vaporization or evaporation. Likewise, what is the name here? Here the name is nothing but the condensation. So what is this condensation? Condensation is the process of conversion of gaseous state to liquid. The steam is in gaseous state and this water is in liquid state. So we can say condensation is the process of conversion of steam to water. With the, here we are not talking that we are giving heat. Here what we are doing? We are cooling this steam. So we can say condensation is the process of conversion of gaseous state to liquid state by cooling them. So we can say it like that. That is what condensation. So now we have water is here and again we are cooling this. Again cooling. What happens then? When we are again cooling this, it will convert to ice cubes. Or simply we can say it will convert to ice. And so what is the name of this process? Water is converted to ice. The name is freezing. Freezing. So what is this freezing? Freezing is the process of conversion of water to ice. Or we can say the process of conversion of liquid to solid is called freezing by cooling that mixture or substance. So that is about the freezing. So in this area we explain 4 terms. First we said that about melting. Then evaporation. Condensation and also freezing. These are the 4 terms. What is this melting? Melting is the conversion of solid to liquid is what? Solid to liquid is melting. What is evaporation? Evaporation is the conversion of liquid to gas. Liquid to gas is what? Evaporation. What is condensation? The conversion of gaseous form to liquid is what? Condensation. And what about freezing? It is the conversion of the liquid state to solid state is what? Freezing. This is the only thing we explain here, and we are using the example of water and explaining this, and that is there in your syllabus. So these all things we are going to assemble within a single diagram. That's now we are going to do. Very simple thing, and you want to study this diagram also. Very simple diagram, and we can call it as flow chart. The diagram is like this. First, it is in solid state. Here, about the water, what is the solid state? That is ice. Ice is there. Now, we are going to heating this. We are giving heat means we are heating this. So, what process there occurs? There occurs the process called melting. There occurs the process called melting. And then the solid state converted to liquid. Liquid. I am just putting it in a box. And so, at first it is ice and then it is converted to water. I am just writing it at the bottom, water. And then again, what I am doing is, I am heating this. I am heating this. Here, the process is called melting. When I am heating the liquid and that is converted to gas, then what is the process? The process is called evaporation. So, I am writing it here. Evaporation. Evaporation. So, now our water is in the form of gas, and what is the name now for the water? It is now in the form of steam. I am just writing it here. Steam. And so, now we are doing that, not we are heating, we are cooling this. We are cooling this. So, when we are cooling this gas, then it is converted to liquid. That is, our steam is converted to water. And what is the process here? Then, the gaseous form is converted to liquid by cooling that. That is called the condensation. Condensation. And again we are cooling this. We are cooling this. And then our water will convert to ice again. So, what is the process here? The process is nothing but the freezing. So, actually this is one cycle for the water. The conversion of state of water is here. At the initial state we are heating this, and at the final state we are cooling that. And we can say the conversion is here occurs with the solid, liquid, gas, liquid, solid, liquid, like it is continuously happening. And we are calling this a name called interchangeable state of interchangeable state of water. That means nothing is there. We are just converting the state of water from solid to liquid to gas to liquid to solid. That is the only thing here. And you want to remember the names. Melting is the, evaporation is the, condensation is the, and freezing is the. And also you want to study the definition for this. That is all about this topic. Now we are going to discuss the next topic, and that is the properties of solids. Properties of solid. And in the coming days we will discuss about the properties of liquid and properties of gas also. And what are the properties of solids? In your textbook, some of the properties are explained and we are going to discuss that. The first one is this hardness. In the previous class we said that some of them are hard, but still some of them are soft actually. So we can say some of them are hard, but don't think all the solids are hard. Some of them are still soft. And you want to remember some of the examples for this. What are the examples for the hard solids? Very simple. We can say stone or gold, diamond, stone, etc. These are some of the examples for the hard solids. And which are the examples for the soft solids? It is something new for you. So, you want to remember the names. That is phosphorus and sulfur. These are some of the examples that mentioned in your textbook. And when we are talking about the sodium, that is also something soft. Now, you just remember these examples. Phosphorus and sulfur are soft solid. That means when we are heating that, it will turn into powder. That is the meaning. And the hard substances means that is getting very hard. And it is not possible to make into powder or just making into cut or something. So we can say, when we are thinking about the solid, there are both hard solids are there and soft solids are there. And just remember some of the examples. And you can use the examples that is familiar for you. No need of by hearting about the solid. And for soft, you just want to remember that. The next is malleability. The next property, the second property is malleability. What is this malleability? Malleability means we can make into thin sheets. Some of the chocolate packets, you can see that it is having some foils of aluminium. Foil of aluminium. Chocolate packets or some sort of food packets are wrapped in foil of aluminium or very thin sheets of aluminium. That is actually the property of solid, that we can make it into thin sheets. And that is what the property called malleability. So we can say malleability is the property of a substance to make it into thin sheets. That means simply we can say adichu paratha. That is what malleability. So now we want to study some of the examples of the solids that we can make it into thin sheets. Very simple examples are there. So the examples are these. Gold is there. Silver, aluminium, etc. are some of the examples, and we can hammer this. That means we can hit this and make it into thin sheets. That is the property malleability. Just study what is this malleability and also want to remember the examples for this. And the third property is this ductility. What is this ductility? Ductility means we can make this into thin wires. We can make into thin wires. When we are observing the wires in our electricity and all, how these wires are? They are very nice wires are there. And how they can be converted into such nice wires? That is because of the property of ductility. So we can say ductility is the property that we can make the substance into thin wires. This is only the property of solid. So now we are going to study some of the examples. The examples are copper, aluminium, etc. These are some of the examples of solids that can be made into thin wires. In this area, we are only saying that some of the solids can be made into thin wires, or some of the metals or the solids can be made into thin sheets, like that. We are not saying that all the solids can be made into thin sheets or nothing. That is about the ductility. And now we are going to discuss about the fourth one, that is combustibility. Fourth one. Very simple. Combustibility. What is this combustibility means? It is also very simple. The thing is this: catch fire easily or not. The thing behind this combustibility is this: do the substance is getting fire easily or not? What about the solids? We are just comparing some of the substances. That means I am taking the example of stone. Stone is one solid. And again I am taking some example of the cloth. Cloth is also solid. What about this? This stone is not getting fire, but this cloth will get fire easily. Both of them are solid. So actually for the solids it is having two when comparing to this combustibility. That is, combustible substances are there. Combustible substances are there, and the other is nothing but the non-combustible substances. So, combustibility means may it get fire or not. That is the thing. And by considering that we have two types, that is combustible substances and non-combustible substances. This combustible substances means they are getting fire very faster. So we can say it as catch fire easily. Catch fire easily. For what? Combustible substances are the substances which catch fire easily. And what about the non-combustible substances? Non-combustible substances means not catch fire easily. So, Combustible substances are the substances which catch fire easily, and non-combustible substances are the substances not catch fire easily. And which are the examples? You can think and write the examples. The examples are wood is the, cloth is the, etc. You can also add more examples. And these non-combustible substances are what? The examples are these: stone is the, glass, iron, etc. We can say they are not catching fire easily. So this is about the combustibility. So we can say combustibility is the property that do the substance get fire easily or not. That is the thing. I hope it's clear. And now we are moving to the last property that is mentioned in your textbook. That is the edibility. Fifth one is edibility. It is also very simple. The fifth one. What is this edibility means? The meaning is this: is it possible to eat or not? That is the meaning. Is it possible to eat or is it possible to eat or not? That is what edibility. So by considering this, we have two types. Do all the solids can be edible? Not at all. Is it possible to eat the stones? No. But we can eat the apple, the vegetables and all. Do they are solid or liquid? Obviously they are solid. So within the solids we have some of the things we can eat and some of the things we cannot able to eat. So by considering that, I am going to classify this edibility into two: edible and inedible. Edible means we can have it. Inedible means it is not possible to eat. So the examples are these: fruits, vegetables, pulses, cereals, all the things that be included in edible solids. And what about the inedible? It is iron is the, stone is the, then the other gold is the, like you can write the examples for the edible and inedible. So these are the properties of solids. Which are the properties we explained? I am just going to conclude this topic. First we explained about the hardness. Then we said about malleability, ductility. Then we explained about the combustibility. And then we studied about edibility. These are the properties for solids. Very simple. Hardness, both hard is the, soft is the. Malleability means we can make it into thin sheets. Ductility means we can make it into thin wires. That is ductility. Combustibility means is it possible to catch fire easily or not. That is about the combustibility. And edibility means is it possible to eat or not. That is the thing. So these are the properties of solids. Now we are going to stop the class. You want to read your textbook 3-4 times, and we will meet in the next class with the properties of liquids and gases. It's enough for today. We will meet in the next class. Thank you.